Hi there BookTube, it's Emma from Emma's Bookish Lifestyle. Sorry it's been so long since I saw you last. There's been quite a lot of things happening. I've had deadlines at work, I've also changed department, and I've also moved desk. And on top of that, there's been birthday celebrations and various other things going on behind the scenes. So unfortunately I haven't had the ability to sit in front of a camera. First of all, I just want to say a huge mwah, thank you to Mel at Mel's Booland Adventures. I will link her channel down below. She kindly sent me Amitav Ghosh's The Glass Palace. Not only is this an astoundingly gorgeous looking cover, it was a very unexpected birthday gift at a time when I was very exhausted after a day at work, and to come home and find this, it was a double whammy. And I really appreciate the thought, the gesture, and I absolutely adore Mel's channel, so please check her out. I know as well at the moment she's doing an amazing read-along Goodreads group which involves reading around the world based around predominantly female authors. I'm hoping to take part, but if that's something that you've got time to join and partake in and would be of interest, then please do. I will again link that particular video down below. So thank you again. It meant the world to me. Cannot express. So my brother also got me some books for my birthday, which was fantastic. The first of which was Our Numbered Days by Claire Fuller. This is published by Penguin, and it is a story about an 8-year-old girl who is taken into a cabin by her father and told her that the rest of the world and her mother no longer exist. Now, I don't know any more than that. I know there are booktubers that have gone into a bit more detail on this or read the synopsis on the back. I want to kind of go into this a bit open. So it's not a very long book, which for me is a pleasant change, because usually everything I read is at least 500 pages. This is 292, so that will be a nice read. So I'm looking forward to reading that shortly. The second book my brother bought me was The Passage by Justin Cronin. Now, my brother and I, when we were a lot younger, I mean, we've both been avid readers all our lives. Both our parents are avid readers. We always had books when we were going on holiday trips and various things. I remember long holidays just at my grandparents' reading carrier bags of books. When we were in our teenage years, we were quite close in our reading styles. We used to read a lot of Stephen King, a lot of Dean Koontz. I know I and my brother also read a lot of Richard Lehman. My brother then went on to do a bit more of the other side of things. I know he read some James Herbert. I wasn't quite so keen. I started off trying to read The Lair, and I've got a real fear and phobia of rats, and I don't know what it was, even just trying to read them scared the heck out of me, and the fact that they were large mutated versions didn't really help much. So this looks like it could have more of a horror than a thriller element to it. I don't know, again, a lot about it. It does look really intriguing. The cover is really atmospheric and a little bit spooky. It's also an 1,000-page whopper. So I'm not quite sure how soon I'll get to it, but I'm hoping to get to it. I have got a holiday coming up in July. That might be an ideal time to do that. But I'm not 100% sure. But I'm really looking forward to reading that and appreciate that he got me that for my birthday. And last but not least, for my birthday, he got me Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinsborough. Now, Sarah is, again, an author that I didn't realise my brother was reading. That's my dog Conan, by the way, having a bath in the background. I didn't realise that my brother read Sarah Pinsborough. At Christmas, I asked for him to buy me Murder for my Christmas present. Accidentally, there was some confusion, and he bought me Mayhem, which is the sequel. So I went out and bought Murder before January, and those two are based around a sort of Jack the Ripper-esque storyline that isn't linked in with Jack the Ripper, but sort of runs at a parallel time in that period of time in London. This is her latest novel, and apologies for that. He's protecting the house though, so we can't tell him off. And that curly little tail is my delightful Drogo. And inside here it just says Louise. Since her husband walked out, Louise has made her son her world, supporting them both with her part-time job, but all that changes when she meets David. Young, successful and charming, Louise cannot believe a man like him would look at her twice, let alone be attracted to her. But that all comes to a grinding halt when she meets his wife. Adele, beautiful, elegant and sweet, Louise's new friend, seems perfect in every way as she becomes obsessed by this flawless couple. Entangled in the intricate web of their marriage, they each in turn reach out to her, but only when she gets to know them both does she begin to see the cracks. Is David really the man she thought she knew, and is Adele as vulnerable as she appears? Just what terrible secrets are they both hiding, and how far will they go to keep them? Now, Neil Gaiman refers to Sarah Pinsborough as a literary chameleon. So this looks extremely different in respect to the two that I've got called Mayhem, Murder and Mayhem. Obviously more modern time frame and more relationship based. So could be very interesting, and I really appreciate my brother buying me that. He obviously took a great deal of thought because that wasn't on my wish list. Didn't realise there was a new one by Sarah coming out, and definitely not in a slightly different genre. This looks more thriller based. So yes, really looking forward to this, and if it's of interest to you, any of these books that I've shown you, please let me know in the comments down below, and I'll try and move them up my wish list, TBR list, to get a review to you as soon as I can. Last but not least, in the sort of birthday category, and a big shout out to Lauren at Lauren and the Books. She's been doing some fantastic videos. I absolutely adore her. She's got a lovely bubbly personality. I love her little cat, and I also think Beardy David and his personal videos and their collaborations are just fantastic. What an amazing couple. A little bit of a power couple, I might think. A booktube power couple, maybe? Anyway, one of the things that Lauren has exposed a lot of us bookish folk to is a company called William and Joseph, who do bookish style candles. Now, the last couple of times she's mentioned them on her channel, she told us of a couple of them, and I went to try and get them, and obviously all us bookish people, tongue again, Emma. It's a sign of my age, to apologise. All us bookish people obviously clearly went to try and have a look at the website, and a few of us have obviously clearly purchased them because quite a few of the ones that I liked or liked the look of had sold out. This seems to keep happening to me. So a couple of the ones that I was really keen on getting, the one I think based around Rebecca, I think it was Mandalay, has been permanently pretty much out of stock every time I've tried to purchase it. So I treated myself to some different ones. So the first one I've got is Prince Charming. Now, obviously with a lot of the Disney retellings that are being made in live action, and with the release of Beauty and the Beast coming out at the end of this week, I thought this might be quite a nice one to have a smell of and see. I quite like unisex smells. I'm not worried if it's overtly masculine. It depends on the base notes and obviously everything in the candle. But this smells like a traditional sort of masculine shaving foam. Very clean, very crisp. Kind of, yeah, just very traditional sort of old sort of shaving foam that you'd lather up with a brush and put on your face. Not that I shave my face, but You know, I'm just saying, some boys out there that are watching the channel, some men out there that are watching the channel might do. But it smells like that. It smells fantastic, and actually I think would be very nice in my bathroom for when I'm having a nice soak in the tub. So the next one I've got, sorry I've sat on my leg and it's fallen asleep, is Party at Gatsby's. Now I have read The Great Gatsby, but I have finally managed to get hold of a Knickerbocker Classic flexi-bound edition of The Great Gatsby, which I'm hoping to read with my candle. So this is Party at Gatsby's, and I have to say it's got more of a grapefruity, citrusy scent to it. Again, I love it. It's very clean. It doesn't smell artificial. None of the candles that I've smelt from these guys smells artificial, which is lovely. And they're hand poured in England, which, you know, I am an aficionado and I absolutely adore my Yankee candles. But it's nice to give some business back to some UK businesses and share the love. But yes, grapefruity and tangy and really, really fantastic. And the last one that I've got is Elizabeth Bennet. Again, I've managed to get the flexi-bound Knickerbocker Classic cloth-bound edition of Pride and Prejudice, and I can't tell you how many times I've read Pride and Prejudice, but it's been a couple of years, and I think I might have to try and reread this year. And this is a bit more florally. It actually reminds me of a perfume that I used to wear when I was younger. I cannot think of the name of the perfume. I think it was called Beverly Hills, and I think it was in like a yellow and white bottle. Giorgio Beverly Hills, I think it was called. But yeah, it's that kind of smell. Definitely a bit more floral. I'm not a massive floral person, but that is a nice light floral. And again, very reminiscent of sort of National Trust properties in the UK when they've got their beautiful gardens in full bloom. Really, really nice. Really, really nice. So that, I think, at 13 minutes is more than enough. So that is basically where I've been at and my birthday purchases and book haul. None of those books were bought by me, so I'm still sticking to my shelf slam for the moment. I also did some wonderful things for my birthday. I managed to go to the theatre a few times. I went to see an amazing Carpenters band that the main singer had the most emotive and beautiful voice. Very, 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 very similar to Karen Carpenter. If those of you aren't aware, Karen Carpenter was a singer with her brother Richard in a duo, and they did a lot of music around the 1970s. And unfortunately she passed at a very early age due to anorexia, but she was an amazing talent, and her music was part of my childhood and I grew up with it, and her ballads got me through a lot of teenage angst and broken hearts, and just absolutely stunning. So on the Friday night before my birthday, I went to see that. Then I was very lucky on the Saturday of my birthday to be taken to see Funny Girl at the theatre in Milton Keynes, up near where I live, and again that was fantastic. It starred, I've forgotten the lady. There is a lady in the UK who's recently on ITV starred as Cilla Black in her youth, and she played the main role of Fanny in Funny Face, and she was amazing. She even got the kind of New York Jewish accent down to a fine art. It was extremely good. Really liked it, and was a unique show, something that I haven't seen for a while. Usually I tend to go for the more sort of travelling London-based shows that I haven't had a chance to see in London that have come up to Milton Keynes. But it was nice to see something a bit different, and I'm a big fan of the classic Barbra Streisand fans? Sorry people. Barbra Streisand film called Funny Girl, that the initial play came from, that then turned into a film that is now back being as a play. So it was really, really lovely weekend, concluded by an amazing family meal with my brother and his partner and my mum and dad on the Sunday. So I hope you're all well. I hope you've been keeping busy. I'm sure you've all been reading a heck of a lot more than I have, unfortunately. I'm hoping to get back onto it. I am currently reading 4 books. So I'm currently reading, still reading Spectacles, and which is a comedy book that I talked about in my last video. I've just started reading The Fatal Tree by Jake Arnott. Now, wow, this is just fantastic. I actually started this on Sunday. We're now on Wednesday. I am almost halfway through. I keep being drawn back to it. It's quite compelling. Even if I only read a couple of pages a day, I will go back to it. What I also love about it is at the back of the book, excuse the tab, but at the back of the book is a glossary of words. This is based on a true story, or a true life person in London, and she is having her story relayed while she's waiting to be hung at Tyburn, which is one of the most famous places in London during the Victorian times. It might have been even the medieval times, actually, Tyburn. And it uses a lot of old London tongue, which is why you have the little glossary of words, which I've got here. Some of them you can work out, that, you know, it's not difficult in the context of the conversation in the story to be able to work out what they are. But some of them are a bit sort of unique. I'm absolutely loving it. I think this is definitely looking towards being at least a 4-star, if not possibly my first 5-star read of the year. It is a little bit quirky, it is a little bit different, it isn't fine literature, it isn't, it is fiction, it's not literary fiction, but it is fantastic, and I'm really, really enjoying it. As I say, I will do a bit more of a review if you are interested. I will definitely do a wrap-up of that book when I've finished it. The other book that I'm hoping to start reading is The Ninth Reign. I did read the first chapter and thoroughly loved it. I need to get back to this. Unfortunately, The Fatal Tree distracted me, and I think the reason why The Fatal Tree distracted me was the book before that that I had been reading was Sarah Waters' The Night Watch. This was a little bit dry, and so I needed something to kind of pep me back up. It was a good book, and I'll do a separate video on my review of this. This was a lovely gift as one of my monthly books from Victoria of Eve's Alexandria, and she really enjoyed it, and I can see where she enjoyed it. I do have some thoughts though, so I will be doing a separate review on that, but it was a bit dry, so I did need something with a bit more zhuzh before I got into an in-depth fantasy world building book. But I am also really looking forward to The Ninth Reign. It started off with quite an interesting character, so watch this space. So thank you ever so much, BookTube, for sitting with me for 20 minutes. I promise I'll try and make my other BookTube videos a bit shorter. There will be a book review on The Night Watch to come up. I've also got a charity book haul, which I will be posting up. I've got a March book haul to be posted up, and a late February confessional, and I also have a March confessional, which I shall be posting shortly. So I hope you're all well. Happy reading BookTube. Anything that you want to recommend to me, or anything that you would like to have a chat with me about, please put in the comments down below.